Diplomatic language. Leave everything open. चलिए, fine then. Good morning everyone. So let us start. The first thing that we have is क्या हुआ? नहीं मिले. First you have is draft UGC grant guidelines. Recently UGC हमें पता है University Grant Commission, it has launched some guidelines with respect to grants, and it also launched something called De-Reservation Policy. There was a lot of dispute on the both, so we have to discuss. The UGC has released a new draft rules named as UGC Fitness of College for Receiving Grants Rule, seeking feedback from the public. So these were draft. देखिए पहले क्या होता है, ड्राफ्ट बनता है, ड्राफ्ट इज पुट इन पब्लिक डोमेन, देन पब्लिक डिस्कशंस आर इनवाइटेड, based on the feedback then draft can be replaced. Draft 1, draft 2, draft 3, draft 4, as many drafts are necessary. Ultimately in the last final is created, it is selected and published as a policy. इसमें draft होते हैं, it is a draft, it means it is a proposal for something, it is not yet accepted. So it is a draft, ठीक है? Remember this draft, fitness of college for receiving grants, seeking feedback. If accepted, the new criteria will supersede 1975 UGC norm, which encompasses all institutes recognized by the commission. So all universities and colleges that are basically recognized by UGC, and UGC controls them, sets the standard of education. So from this you can understand UGC has two roles in India. UGC has twice role in India. First, it regulates the standard of education, and second, it also deals with the grant mechanism, giving grant to which university. The grant is a big power. You can decide which university will get grant, or you can push some and delegitimize some. You can push grant to some university you like, and you can delegitimize, or you can weaken other university of your choice. That's a drama. एक और ड्रामा अभी चल रहा है, आपको पता होगा, AMU का. AMU's minority status का ड्रामा चल रहा है, ठीक है? तो we are not yet sure. अभी एक बार judgment आ जाए फिर देखते हैं उसका क्या करना है. Then we will understand it thoroughly. So it's an old case from Allahabad High Court drama. तब से चल ही रहा है, तो देखते हैं what happens to the AMU status. Anyway, so understand this institution of national importance. They are very important, and education anyway, you know, is very important. So remember this, that all institutes which are recognized by the commission basically are governed by these rules. Chapter 10 in the UGC final draft of the guideline titled De-Reservation Policy proposes that the post reserved for SC, ST, OBC candidate can be de-reserved in rare and exceptional. अब इस पे dispute सबसे ज़्यादा है.
Sir, the camera is not clear. It is blurring a little.
It is what?
The screen gets blurred.
अब कहाँ है इसका remote यार, पता नहीं. कोई नहीं, मेरे को थोड़ी स्क्रीन विजिबल है यहाँ पे, शेयर जो कर रखी है.
Yes sir.
हाँ तो उसने फिलहाल उससे काम चला दीजिए, क्योंकि अभी कोई है नहीं यहाँ पे, ठीक है? जैसे आएगा हम देखते हैं. हाँ, so what we were saying is there are two parts here. One is with respect to grant, जिस पे इतना कोई dispute है नहीं. Second is with respect to de-reservation policy. De-reservation policy, उसके लिए पहले तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए reservation क्या होता है. So reservation का बड़ी छोटी सी story है. Let me tell you quickly. There was a demand by the minority. There was a demand by the lower caste in India to have a separate electorate, particularly by Ambedkar. Ambedkar was of the opinion the people who are socially segregated must stay politically segregated, meaning जिन लोगों को समाज में अलग किया गया है, the people who are separated in the society shall have a separate future as well in polity. Same demand was made by Jinnah, that Hindus and Muslims are two different community. They are socially segregated and cannot live together under one nation. Same thing applies in the demand of B.R. Ambedkar. That ऐसे मरता, ये गलत बात है, तुमने गलत लिखा है. हाँ, so बात समझ में आई. तो the logic of the B.R. Ambedkar is the people who are socially segregated must stay politically segregated. So he was demanding separate electorate. अब separate electorate का मतलब समझिए that you will vote for your own people only. Separate electorate में problem क्या होता है? That for example, a electoral roll will be created for SCs only, and they will choose SC representative only. अभी क्या होता है? We have general electorate. Everyone in a constituency, irrespective of their gender, religion, race, caste, are in same role, and they vote for one candidate only. Ultimately, one candidate represent entire constituency. अब चाहे उसमें कोई भी religion हो, कोई भी caste हो. But what Ambedkar was demanding? Ambedkar was demanding separate electorate. What was his logic? His logic was very simple. Logic was that when the Britishers will leave India, the Brahmins will dominate India. Same was the assertion of Muslim League Muhammad Ali Jinnah, that whenever the Britishers will leave India, the majority Hindus will dominate the minority Muslims. So the way two nation theory work in case of Jinnah, पर यहाँ पे थोड़ा फर्क हो गया, because Britishers, आपको पता है, they had the policy of divide and rule. So Britishers gave separate electorate to Ambedkar. They gave this. They gave, okay, fine, that the SCs, the scheduled caste, they will choose their own representative. Gandhi got very angry, and Gandhi was at that time, he was in this Pune jail, I believe. So, and there he carried out fast unto death. Ambedkar came, and as a compromise, a document was signed. We call that Pune Pact. We call that Pune Pact. The Pune Pact, it was agreed that you leave demand for separate electorate. In return, we will give you reservation. So this is the genesis of your reservation. Lekin remember, reservation for whom? Reservation for only two people. So Constitution of India have reservation or had reservation since beginning for only two communities, SCs and STs. 23% reservation since the beginning. OBC reservation is different. इसमें जो लास्ट न्यूज है राम मंदिर को लेके है, वहां पे we will discuss थोड़ा सा OBC का part also. It was a part of a political compromise, something we call the politics of Mandal Kamandal. OBC reservation came as a, you can say, as a consequence of a political game between Mandal and Kamandal. Mandal represent the religion and Kamandal represent the religion and Mandal represent the commission. ठीक है, तो वो पॉलिटिक्स हम राम मंदिर अभी लास्ट न्यूज में वो देख लेंगे. यहाँ तक सबको समझ में आया? सो रिजर्वेशन हैज बीन गिवन फॉर टू कम्युनिटी because they were historically deprived for centuries, for decades. Centuries, for centuries, they were not allowed to educate. So the only criteria we had was socially and educationally backward. The reservation in India is given only on this criteria, socially and educationally backward. This philosophy no longer applies after EWS. अब वो आप प्रॉपर क्लास में करिएगा, इतना डिटेल हम नहीं जा सकते. फिलहाल इतना समझ में आया सबको? सो दिस इज द जेनेसिस ऑफ द रिजर्वेशन. अब व्हाई दिस पॉलिसी इज बीइंग डिक्राइड? बिकॉज दिस पॉलिसी सेज इफ you do not have sufficient number of SCs and STs or OBCs, you can de-reserve that post and can hire general candidate. It's a big problem according to the lower caste. अच्छा, पहले आप ये बताइए कि ये बात सही है, ये ठीक है, इन्होंने सही करा? व्हाट यू थिंक? सही बात है. अगर कोई टैलेंटेड कैंडिडेट नहीं मिल रहा है SC ST OBC में, तो जनरल से हायर कर लो. बिकॉज इफ यू हैव सीन a lot of time when it comes to giving jobs, SC ST OBC में, even if you have negative marks, you get a job. Negative marks, और कई बार उसमें होता है most fit among the unfit. Most fit among the unfit. Let's say the cutoff for मान लेते 10 है for general, 2 है for SC, 1 है for ST. OBC को भी बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, that we will discuss later. So no one has 2 cutoff. जनरल में 10 से ऊपर बहुत लोग हैं, so we have chosen sufficient general candidate. अब जहां पे बात है 2 की कट ऑफ की, इतनी भी किसी के पास नहीं है. So in that scenario there is another principle known as most fit among the unfit. मतलब जितने लोग इससे नीचे हैं उसमें भी सबसे ऊपर कौन है, उनको जॉब दे दी जाती है. और ऐसा बहुत डिपार्टमेंट्स में होता है, पर्टिकुलरली इन एससीज एंड एसटीज. आपको जनरल वालों को बड़ी तकलीफ होती है इस बात से, ये कौन सा गेम चल रहा है. देखिए, अंडरस्टैंड, वी आल्सो हैड एक्सक्लूसिव 100% रिजर्वेशन फॉर सेंचुरीज. ऐसा नहीं है, तो इसे रोना कोई ऐसा रोना कोई जेन्युइन नहीं है. ठीक है, योर फादर डिड समथिंग, यू आर पेइंग द प्राइस. अंडरस्टैंड दिस. यू नो द वर्ना सिस्टम इन इंडिया. वर्ना में यू हैव द ब्राह्मण, द क्षत्रिय, द वैश्य एंड शूद्रास. The people who were out of the Varna system were known as untouchables. Over time, what happened? The Shudras joined untouchable, and this entire category became SCs. ठीक है, Varna तो problem था नहीं, because Varna was according to the quality of a person. Over time, Varna deteriorate into caste, and then that caste deteriorate into by profession. So this is chamar, the people who work with leather. So anyone who is working with menial works like leather, cleaning, वगैरह वगैरह, they were regarded as a lower caste, and anyone working with the higher works like businessmen, priestly class, they became the upper caste. ठीक है. Anyway, but for centuries and decades till British period आप कह सकते हैं, the lower caste were never allowed to study. There was an exercise called Upanyan. आपने देखा हो ना, that white thread some people wear, that is known as Janeyu. That is known as Upanyan Yag. In that yag is performed when you are of sufficient age. A yag is performed, and you are given that Janeyu or the sacred thread, which signifies that you can study. And it was allowed only for these 3 varnas. So the lower varna was never allowed to study at all. ठीक है. So that is the demand of the reservation, the socially and educationally backwardness. Again, theoretically very sound. Practical difficulties are too much there. First difficulty, the people who have used the reservation are using reservation again and again and again and again. It is not widespread. ऐसा नहीं है SC as a community, entire community is using reservation. Few caste within SCs are using reservation again and again. Same goes with ST, same goes with OBCs. So this is the bigger problem we have. चलो यहाँ वो बात नहीं है. यहाँ बात ये है कि if I am unable to find a suitable candidate in SC, ST, OBC, I can de-reserve. हालांकि government has withdrawn this now after a lot of protest. But nonetheless, what do you think? It should be allowed? अब जल्दी बताइए. पॉलिसी मस्त है, एकदम चंगी पॉलिसी है. बोल दो यार, भारत सरकार छोड़ना है, जेल में डाल देंगे तुम्हें. यू आर फ्री टू स्पीक. क्लासेस आर अ प्लेटफॉर्म ऑफ डिबेट एंड डिस्कशन. ये पार्लियामेंट थोड़ी ना है कि आपको सस्पेंड कर देंगे. ठीक है. देखिए, इन थियरी इट में अपीयर. हाँ, बोलिए. गो अहेड अस्नीत.
So when you should check on the base of talent, which is the best person, regardless of the reservation or the caste.
ठीक है. You should select the best person. So she has argued about a word called merit. This is what you're talking about, Ashneet?
Yes, sir.
So
okay.
if if we have merit list, then people who won't get, like SC, STs or any lower caste people who doesn't get what facilities we are getting, and still if it is he is the best person, like if he gets what we are getting, and then he being the merit person and we being the merit person makes totally difference. So I think caste system is necessary.
देखिए अंडरस्टैंड द फैक्टर हियर, यही मैंने देखिए नोट्स में यहाँ पे मेंशन है, बाकी यू कैन रीड इट आउट. देखिए look at the status of lower caste, then I will tell you what is the real scenario. Status of lower caste representation in the universities. According to UGC's own report, only 32.24 professors have been reserved for SC, ST, OBC. जो रिजर्वेशन दिया है यूनिवर्सिटी में राइट नाउ, कितना दिया हुआ है? 32.24 दिया हुआ रिजर्वेशन है, जबकि एज पर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कितना होना चाहिए? 49. It should be 49, but the given here is 32.24. Even in this, look at the representation. ये कुछ स्टैटिस्टिक है, नॉट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू रिमेंबर, जस्ट रिमेंबर अ जनरल डेटा. Percentage wise, only 4% of the professors, 6% of the associate professor working in 45 central university belongs to OBC. Only 4 and 6, जबकि they have a reservation around 23 or something, 18, 19 something जो भी है. 27 तो वैसे है पर इसमें कम है. ठीक है. Apart from that, if you look, 82% of all associate professor क्या है? Universities में the presence of SC, ST, OBC is virtually absent. And you can pick any central university and you can pick any central department. इस पे हमने एक बार रिजर्वेशन पे प्रॉपर डिटेल में स्टैटिस्टिक के साथ करा था, मुझे याद नहीं कौन से करंट अफेयर्स में, वेयर वी टुक ऑल द इंस्टीट्यूशंस. गवर्नमेंट में presence of SC, ST, OBCs in the top bureaucracy is virtually absent. Not more than 5 to 6% of all secretary to government of India, which is the highest level IS position, is lower caste. Same is with the woman status. They are exclusively upper caste male. Supreme Court को देख लीजिए, exclusively upper caste male. Media, all are upper caste. एक दो भी नहीं, all are upper caste. I'm talking about editors. Editors is the most functional position in a media house that decide what news will be published and what is not. All upper caste. The only source, देखिए मैंने आपको एक चीज समझाई थी, mental control. There's two things, physical control and mental control. How mental control works? Mental control works with information. Information decides how you can perceive the world. And who gives you information? Theories, ideas. And the two institutions that create theories and ideas are universities and media. Media control perception by controlling information, and universities में professors create theories, concepts, ideas that define this world. जैसे for example, जैसे how many planets are there in solar system? कितने हैं? जब हमने पढ़ा था 9 हुआ करते थे, एक कहाँ चला गया? ड्रॉप कर दिया. पर प्लूटो को इससे फर्क पड़ा? प्लूटो इज लाइक मैं तो मस्त घूम रहा है. Understand the difference. That is reality. Pluto is still revolving. Pluto is still revolving around the sun. It does not care what the humanity thinks. But we have dropped Pluto from the category of a planet. Now it is a dwarf or stone or something. Dwarf planet बना दिया उसे. We have dropped it. So the people who have studied earlier, उनके हिसाब से solar system में 9 planets हैं. आपके हिसाब से solar system में 8 हो गए. That's how reality works. Reality is theories explaining the fact of the life. And who create theories? Universities, professors, scholars. और जब यहाँ पे ही exclusive domain किनका है? Upper caste का. तो theories किसके favor में बनेंगी? इसीलिए you feel that reservation must be removed because you feel it brings inefficiency. अगर marks ही efficiency है, then everyone who has 99% would be a CEO. कॉलेज ड्रॉप आउट के पास कैसे हैं? दिस वर्ल्ड इज कंट्रोल्ड बाय बेसिकली द पीपल. आप देखिए मार्क जकरबर्ग का कॉलेज ड्रॉप आउट. आई थिंक दिस माइक्रोसॉफ्ट पर्सन बिल गेट्स, उसकी भी डिग्री पूरी नहीं थी ज्यादा मुझे पता है. दीज आर द पीपल हु डज नॉट हैव वेरी हाई क्वालिफिकेशन The people with PhDs and gold medals are working for these people. Again, and you can go in any field, you will find people, talent अलग होता है, देखिए marks अलग होते हैं. Sachin Tendulkar may be a 10th fail, but he's a god of cricket. That's talent. Marks does not decide talent. So same place पे, just because somebody has got less marks does not mean they are less talented, but perception works this way. सबको समझ में आ रहा है problem? The problem here is that universities are exclusively controlled by upper caste. Media is exclusively controlled by upper caste. That's why a perception is being made that reservation is bad, it is hurting India's productivity. जबकि मैं reservation favor नहीं कर रहा, what I'm trying to say is that reservation is given for a particular cause. Without removing the cause, you're trying to remove a tool to heal the cause. पहले casteism तो remove कर लो. And remember, casteism is present everywhere. चाहे आप private में जाओ, चाहे आप government में जाओ. I always say one thing: if you feel there is no discrimination in this world, or at least you have not felt discrimination, तो इसका मतलब आप या तो upper caste है या male है. If you are a female or you are a lower caste, somebody will remind you your limitation, even for a joke. Only you are an upper caste male, nobody reminds you that you have a limitation. So the people who says na that I have never felt discrimination, तो आप बिना उसके बारे में जाने बोल सकते हो that person must be from upper caste. Same applies with every country. America में a white Christian male may not have faced discrimination ever. बाकी लोगों ने must have. जैसे the chances that a black person will be stopped by the American police is 10 times, 20 times higher than a white person, even though a white person may be having ganjas and everything in his car. Why? Social perception. Majority of the people are in jail are from lower caste and minorities, because police आसमान से तो गिरी नहीं है. It has same stereotype that we all possess. So that is what we need to understand. De-reservation is not a good idea. On the contrary, we need to find why 82% of all the associate professor are upper caste. भाई 82 बहुत बड़ा फिगर होता है. एक बार कोई 60 होता, 60 होता, 50 होता, समझ भी आता है. 82, it means they are exclusively upper caste. ठीक है. And then आपको इसलिए लगता होगा यूपीएससी में थोड़ा अलग है. यूपीएससी में लोअर कास्ट डोमिनेशन हाई है, particularly during entry level, because UPSC open recruitment करता है and it's conduct every year. So around 65% of the vacancy in the UPSC exam goes to reserve category. हालांकि reservation 60% है, but 5% of the jobs are taken by the people who qualify in the general list. तो इसलिए UPSC में आपको लगता होगा, हाँ UPSC में I agree that general category की बहुत कम representation, but again at entry level only. But when it comes to promotions, जहां पे कोई एग्जाम नहीं लगता, you still have the upper caste male at the top position. Clear है? So these are the biases. You are asking to remove a tool. First, deal with these problems. थोड़ा representation अच्छा कीजिए, उसके बाद बोलिए कि we will remove the reservation. Clear है? So there was too much criticism on de-reservation policy. The government has withdrawn it. It may bring it in another form. We don't know. अभी इलेक्शन है तो शायद अभी तो कुछ नहीं होगा, मे बी आफ्टर इलेक्शन. क्लियर है? और सेकंड पार्ट इस पॉलिसी का क्या है? ग्रांट गिविंग. उसके लिए नंबर ऑफ क्राइटेरियाज हैं, लाइक इफ यू कैन क्वालिफाई फॉर, देखिए दीज आर सम क्राइटेरिया. इफ यू आर अ इंस्टीट्यूशन इन हियर, नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशनल, प्रीलिम्स के लिए याद रखिएगा NI RF. It was initiated in 2015. It outlines a methodology to rank higher education institutes in India. It aims to provide comprehensive assessment of HEIs, promoting NAC अलग है, NAC भी है इसमें. It is basically done by Ministry of Education. जिसे higher education कहते थे, अब उसे education कहते हैं. And what are the parameters here? These are the parameters. Please not learn them. ठीक है? तो NI RF ranking होती है, NAC अलग होता है. That is we have here. बाकी डी-रिजर्वेशन पॉलिसी एक बार पढ़ लेना, मैंने आपको ऐसे समझा दिया है. This is what you have. To be eligible for the grant, the university should either have accreditation from the National Assessment and Accreditation Council or have 60% of the program accredited by National Board of Accreditation. So these are the criterias. If you have NAC rating, and if your 60% of your program has rating from NBA, or you have a standing in NIRF. In all three cases, if you have any of these three, you are eligible for a funding from UGC. Clear है? तो इस पे कोई dispute नहीं है. The only dispute we have is the chapter 10 of the draft guidelines that deals with de-reservation. Clear? चलिए next news पे आते हैं. वैसे मैंने मेरिट पे डिस्कस नहीं किया, मेरिट की बात करते हैं. बोला ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, मेरिट कुड आल्सो बी अ सोशल लॉटरी. मेरिट जिसे आप कहते हैं, दैट कुड आल्सो बी अ social lottery. You are born to a rich family, a affluent family, which can afford to provide you education, and then you call yourself meritorious. It is not how it applies. अब जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल, all the CEOs of the foreign companies अमेरिका में, look at their backgrounds. They all come from affluent families. आप खुद सोचिए, if Raghuram Rajan father was not able to afford his education in America, he would not have become the economist we know. हो सकता है यहाँ पे किसी गवर्नमेंट एग्जाम के लिए अप्लाई कर रहा होता वो. He's ascribed status and earned status, but nonetheless understand this. Merit सुनने में अच्छा लगता है, but merit is also depends on a lot of factors. Physical inheritance, social inheritance, the time you are born, वो भी बहुत बड़ी बात होती है. It depends on the time you are born. For example, you are born a very talented SC in ancient India, तो कोई मतलब नहीं है इसका. You are a very talented SC in ancient India, there is no point. You will never be known. You cannot become a king. You cannot become a businessman. You cannot become a priest. तो आपका होना ना होना virtually absent है. Similarly, if you are born as a woman in, say for example, 17th century America, no use. ना वोट का राइट है, ना कुछ और राइट्स है. तो timing determines a lot of things. Hillary Clinton can be content to become the president in today's time only. पहले तो वोट करने का अधिकार नहीं था. राइट कैसा, इलेक्शन कैसा. सो मेरिट के साथ ये प्रॉब्लम होती है. मेरिट इज अ सोशल लॉटरी ऑल्सो. तो इतना इतना ज्यादा भाव नहीं खाना चाहिए मेरिट के ऊपर. ठीक है, आगे देखते हैं नेक्स्ट रिपोर्ट. ऑल इंडिया सर्वे फॉर ऑन हायर एजुकेशन. ठीक है, Aisha, this report has been published highlighting interesting aspects of Indian education system. Most significantly, there has been a 7.5% increase in student enrollment. Good news that the student enrollment about higher education has increased by 7.5. So more and more people will become graduate and unemployed. Okay? So the competition will increase further. So Aisha report highlight, it is prelims ke liye, please remember, it is a project launched by Ministry of Education. It collects and analyzes data on countries' higher education to provide reliable and up-to-date information. It provides information about virtually everything about higher education, like enrollment trend, infrastructure, faculties, and any pertinent factor. So basically, it's a comprehensive study or survey of higher education system in India, how it is functioning, how it is not functioning, and how it is published annually. Please remember this. So let's see what is the finding. The recent report finding is that there are around 1,200 universities in India with around 45,000 colleges with around 12,000 standalone institutes. So you have a lot of universities, colleges in India. First, number of institution. Since 2014, 341 university or university level institute have been formed. मतलब लगभग 340 नई यूनिवर्सिटी पिछले 10 साल में बनाई गई हैं, जिसमें से अराउंड राइट नाउ वी हैव अराउंड 17 यूनिवर्सिटी ओनली फॉर वुमेन एंड 18 यूनिवर्सिटी विच आर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी. आपको पता है इग्नू है हमारा, उस तरह से. एनरोलमेंट इन हायर एजुकेशन, देखिए एग्जैक्ट फैक्ट याद मत रखना, कोई नहीं पूछने वाला. इस पे डायरेक्ट तो कुछ नहीं आएगा. हाउ यू विल यूज दिस न्यूज? व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग एन आंसर, फॉर एग्जांपल व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग essay, देयर यू हैव टू प्रोवाइड some content. Then you will write, as per Aisha report, the education institution in India has increased. Absolute quantum कोई नहीं पूछ रहा. But remember a trend. Trend remember करना है. यहाँ पे statistician किसी को नहीं बनाना हमें. Standalone मतलब independent degree giver. There are some institutes which are affiliated to universities or other institutes. Standalone मतलब they are simple institute and they give degrees. ज्यादातर इंस्टीट्यूट क्या होते हैं, कॉलेजेस क्या होते हैं, दे आर लिंक्ड टू universities, but there are some institutes which are not linked to any university or college system. They are independent and they give independent certificate courses and degrees. अब नेम पवन आप सर्च कर लीजिए, मिल जाएगा. मुझे ऐसा याद नहीं कोई. टोटल नंबर ऑफ पास आउट्स हैज क्लाइम्ड टू, हर साल 1 करोड़ लोग हायर एजुकेशन से निकल रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो 1 करोड़ जॉब बननी चाहिए हर साल, नहीं तो यू आर इन ट्रबल्स. सो एनीवे रिमेंबर, ये तो कॉमन सेंस है. फीमेल एनरोलमेंट इन हायर एजुकेशन हैज risen around 32%. So it's a good news, but nonetheless a number of pass out are increasing. 1 crore are pass out in the previous year. Caste based statistic यहाँ पे अच्छा है. Student enrollment में there is a good caste composition. The around 15% SCs and 6%, STs and 37%, OBC and 14%, other caste, including other religion also. ठीक है, तो it's a good composition. Enrollment is state. The biggest state that have enrollment are, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है, it does not mean that they are doing good. It means that they were so bad that they are improving better. बात समझ में आई? 1 से 10 पे जाना is a big achievement. 99 से 100 पे जाना 1. You have 99 student and you got 1 more. Other people who had only 50 student get 20 more. तो of course ऐसा लगेगा उनके पास ज्यादा सक्सेस है, ऐसा नहीं है. तो these are the backward states of India. So यहाँ पे even a small increase in enrollment appears very high. Nonetheless, a good news. ठीक है, that is what I want to highlight here is major issues से पहले हम एक चीज देख लेंगे. जो last statement हमारी बीमारू state की. Why that last point is relevant? It is relevant in context of बीमारू state. I think it's Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh. It's an acronym. It was coined to represent the state which has very low socioeconomic standards. In this, if you see, 30% of India's population and 44% of school-going children are in Bimaru states. So 30% of India's population and 44% of school-going children are in Bimaru state, which has the lowest literacy rate and educational outcome. इसका मतलब, if you invest money in education in Kerala, it will not have significant impact because already वहाँ पे primary education is already 100%. So rather than investing in the stronger state, you should invest in a weaker state. Logic समझ में आया? Bimaru state में if you focus, the overall achievement of India will be significantly higher than if you focus on other states because the proportion is very high. ठीक है, 44%. You have to focus only on 4 states and you will take care of 44% of the school going children. Clear? That's why the last point was important, that these Bimaru states have increasing their enrollment ratio. Clear? Please remember that. अब देख लेते हैं what are the problem with India's higher education system. पहली प्रॉब्लम जो आप सबको पता ही है, we produce what? We produce graduate idiots. Why we produce graduate idiots? That is not clear, Samartha. It does not care. Institute की reputation होना चाहिए. Standalone are as good as the university affiliated. इसमें कोई इशू नहीं है. अगर इंस्टीट्यूट अच्छा है तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. The biggest problem with India's higher education is dearth of practical experience, basically simply stating lack of skills. Our education system works on rote learning and exam passing. It less focus on imparting skills, and that is the biggest concern, that is devoid of practical experience and local knowledge base, particularly in technical courses. हालांकि इन कोर्सेज में कुछ हो, इन कोर्सेज में दे से देयर इज सम एप्लीकेशन क्वेश्चन व्हिच मैस्कुरेड एज अ रियल वर्ल्ड प्रॉब्लम. केस स्टडीज होती है ना, व्हिच यू अटेम्प्ट इन योर डिग्री कोर्सेज, जो आपको रियल लाइफ, दैट इज व्हाट ही इज सेइंग. दिस कमीशन इज सेइंग दैट आपका पहले तो टेक्निकल एक्सपीरियंस है आपके पास, बट यू हैव नॉलेज, नॉट द प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ रियल लाइफ वर्किंग. You know everything about bending movement और पता नहीं क्या क्या. If you know, for example, एक बहुत अच्छा सीन था, आपने शायद देखी होगी, Big Bang. It's a series, Hollywood series. तो उसमें the people involved, they are highly learned physician, वो क्या बोलते हैं ना, physics में कुछ है, they are PhD in physics, highly learned, and they are researcher in physics. So they were going with a girl, and she was a bar, क्या बोलते से, what you call that, waiter. She was a waiter in some bar cum restaurant, and so they were going in a car, and her car start to dysfunction. So she asked them, do you know how internal combustion engine works? Everyone says yes. They say in real life. Everyone says no. So what happened here? Those are accomplished physicists working in university in big research projects. छोटे मोटे नहीं, बड़े बड़े बोसोन वगैरह डिस्कवर कर रहे हैं वो. ठीक है, they know everything about theoretical aspects. When you ask, do you know how internal combustion engine works? They know it. They can draw a diagram right now. But when it comes to seeing that really in the car, they have no idea. That is the difference between knowledge and skills. बात समझ में? This is the biggest problem we have in India's education system, that we have knowledge without skills. That's why even government provides you training after recruitment. हालांकि ट्रेनिंग होनी नहीं चाहिए. You should be already trained in the craft you want to pursue. जो भी craft आपको pursue करना है, you should be already trained. But nonetheless, because government knows you, even private sector में भी training होता है, आपको पता है, probation period, trainee then probation. Why it is there? होना नहीं चाहिए. You should be ready to be employed. But because everyone knows India's education system, they know you are not ready to be employed. So they put you on training or probation. In that time period, they trains you about the real life, and then they put you as a proper employee. So this is the biggest problem in India's higher education system, lab to land disconnect. Next, vocational training. India mein there is a sentiment. The people who go for vocational training or ITI type of courses, we believe that these courses are for the poor people only. एक सेंटीमेंट बन गया है that we do 10th 12th सीधा डिग्री without going through a very necessary part called ITI. ITI जो होती है, it's a technical degree भी नहीं होती, डिप्लोमा भी नहीं होता, certificate. It's a technical certificate where they teaches you real life art like welding, crafting, जो भी होता है, there are different trades. They teaches you that. But the problem that is highlighted here is the people who go for vocational training, they often are unable to pursue higher education. Second thing, it is the least pursued qualification because of the image that it is largely for poor and non-talented. And this is another problem in India, that we think that if you have a big degree course in IIT, then only you are a good person. Parents ऐसे ही होते हैं हमारे भी, ठीक है. They don't understand that going through this process is very necessary. I'm not saying that by learning, for example, welding, you will do welding. नहीं करोगे कभी. You may graduate, become a doctor and everything. That's if different. But you must understand. इसके दो फायदे होंगे. पहला, you will learn to respect those who do that. Most important thing that you will learn. अभी क्या है? You have an arrogance. कई लोगों में होता है. भाई हमने MBBS किया है और हमने BTech in civil engineering किया है, तो I want a supervisory position only. I will not work as a layman. And that's why the big another reason large number of people are unemployed, because they have a preference of job above a degree. मैं जॉब करेगा और 1 लाख से ऊपर सैलरी मिलेगा तो ये क्या बात हुई? I have done BTech and you are paying me 20,000. So this understanding that I want salary beyond this only, I want role beyond this only, they don't understand everything start from the bottom. ये चीज आपको वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में नहीं मिलता. Western countries में the people have started at the very bottom. It's a very acknowledged and accomplished and praised. Majority of the people who are now CEO of the big companies, they have worked like a delivery boys to Pizza Hut, Domino's वगैरह. They have, and it is not a matter of shame in America. India में it's a matter of shame. यार पिज्जा डिलीवरी तुम तो IAS बनने आए थे. बात समझ में आई? तो this cultural ethos difference is a problem. That is what we need to do. We need to first remove 11th and 12th, or at least after 12th, it should be made compulsory to go for a 6 months for everyone. Without that, you cannot join a degree program. You must be forced to go compulsory for 6 months to some vocational training program. अगर वो नहीं कर सकते तो we can inbuilt in education, जैसे जर्मनी में है. जर्मनी में along with knowledge, they provide technical skills to every student. हर स्टूडेंट के लिए कंपलसरी होता है. व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फ्रॉम द नॉलेज पैरामीटर ऑफ द स्कूलिंग, सेम टाइम पे आपको टेक्निकल स्किल्स जाती है. दैट्स व्हाई अराउंड 90% ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स हु ग्रेजुएट इन जर्मनी, दे हैव टेक्निकल स्किल्स, दे हैव वेरी हाई एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी. बात समझ में आई? सो दिस इज व्हाट वी नीड टू इंटीग्रेट इन इंडियाज एजुकेशन सिस्टम. थर्ड थिंग, क्वालिटी ऑफ स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज. Majority of the people in India study in state universities and they have pathetic conditions, particularly in state like UP Bihar. Building है तो teacher नहीं, और teacher है तो building नहीं. This is how it works. Sometimes you don't have the buildings. If there is buildings, you don't have the staff. You don't have the staff, so you don't have the teachers. If there are teachers, then there is one teacher teaching everything, or maybe none. You have staff on what do you call that, temporary basis. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल NSUT वेस्ट कैंपस, बड़े बुरे हालत हैं इसके. ठीक है, व्हेन इट वाज मेड, इट इज नॉट गवर्नमेंट इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज, CBP, चौधरी ब्रह्म प्रकाश गवर्नमेंट इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज, द फर्स्ट चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ दिल्ली. So that college में they had IIT professors, but the problem was these IIT professors, because they were retired and they were on temporary basis and they were available only Saturday Sunday. तो बाकी 5 दिन there was no classes. Only Saturday Sunday there was classes because they had no faculty. Nobody was willing to go to Najafgarh. बात समझ में? This is the problem. Government is making a lot of universities, जो इसमें दिखाया रिपोर्ट में, that government ने 341 universities बनाई है, but it does not show the quality of universities. Out of 341, how many of them are functional? Functional का मतलब समझ रहे हैं? It must have minimum staff, minimum number of teachers, and minimum number of students with basic necessities. If you take that, हो सकता है 100 भी ना बचे. बात समझ में? This is the problem we have, and particularly the problem is with state universities. They have utterly pathetic conditions. मुझे नहीं पता आप कहाँ पढ़े हैं, but majority of the colleges का यही हाल है. क्या दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी का भी ये हाल हो गया है? ओह, वेरी गुड. ये दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में तो प्रोफेसर होने चाहिए यार. ठीक है, कुछ कॉलेजेस में होंगे, कुछ में नहीं होंगे, पर ये बैड बात है. तो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी का कुछ कॉलेज बेकार है जहाँ पे टीचर्स नहीं है, तो बाकी को तो भूल ही जाओ. और यूपी बिहार के तो आपको हालात पता ही है, 5-5, 6-6 साल में रिजल्ट आता है उनका. तो कॉलेजेस का क्या इनका भी यही हाल है क्या? अच्छा, literally college result I am talking about. You give an exam 2 years, 3 years later the result comes. So you have given 5 years, entire 4 years exam, और आपका रिजल्ट आ रहा है 3 या 4 साल बाद. तब पता लगता है बैक लग गई. ठीक है. चलिए, anyway, problem clear है. The problem is, and the question is why, if the university's condition is very bad, why we are not focusing over it? सीधी सी बात है, जब मंदिर मस्जिद से काम चल जाता है तो काहे का फोकस? फोकस जब होगा. हाँ, ये बात तो सही है. ठीक है. अच्छा ऐसा है क्या समर्था? चलिए कोई नहीं, सब चलता रहता है, कोई बड़ी चीजें नहीं है ये। चलिए एनीवे इशू क्लियर है। हैव लेस नंबर ऑफ यूनिवर्सिटीज बट हैव बेटर क्वालिटी, पर हम बिलीव करते हैं नंबर्स में। कीप ऑन मेकिंग यूनिवर्सिटीज, कीप ऑन मेकिंग कॉलेजेस, चाहे स्टाफ हो ना हो, और दिस इज द कंडीशन प्राइमरली विद वर्चुअली एवरीथिंग। व्हाई? द बिगेस्ट रीजन इज देयर इज नो फोकस। द सेकंड बिगेस्ट, इंडिया में डूइंग अ जॉब particularly in universities and colleges is not very lucrative, unlike western countries में, particularly America में, the most respectable person is the professor. Most respectable people are the teacher and the professor. India में the most respectable and honored people are civil servants. This is the problem we have. पहली, the civil servant have a lot of facility than the professors. हालांकि उनकी भी ठीक ठाक facilities है. When you go below the teaching staff, वो और बुरा है. प्रोफेसर को सैलरी इंडिया में बहुत अच्छा मिलता है. You had a very good salary. बच्चे पढ़ना नहीं चाहते या पढ़ाना नहीं चाहते, तो you have a lot of time also. You have a salary, you have time. But when you go to the teaching staff, the problem increases because government treats them like paid laborer. कुछ भी करवा रही है except teaching. टीचिंग के अलावा everything is to be done. सेंसस हो रहा है तो आप जाओगे, वैक्सीन लगना है तो आप जाओगे, इलेक्शंस हो रहे हैं तो आप जाओगे. So this is the problem we have. If you will keep on treating your teachers as a paid laborer, it will not work out. The only parameter a teacher or a professor should be judged by the outcome of the university, the outcome of the class. But यहाँ पे they are judged by every other parameter except this. तो इसके लिए we need to bring reform, पर उसके लिए we need to bring focus. जब तक फोकस नहीं होगा तो रिफॉर्म कैसे आएगा? ठीक है, और फोकस की जरूरत किसे है? लास्ट इशू ऑफ अफोर्डेबिलिटी. अंडरस्टैंड, आई ऑल्सो बिलीव इंडिया में एजुकेशन शुड बी फ्री टिल द टाइम यू वांट टू स्टडी. इट शुड बी फ्री फॉर एवरी सिंगल पर्सन फॉर एवर. देखिए, एजुकेशन इज वन ऑफ द बेसिक नेसेसिटी दैट अलाउज यू टू ग्रेजुएट टू बिकम इक्वल टू दिस मॉडर्न लाइफ. That is what this commission has highlighted, that India में private college में आपको पता ही है, they are basically looting the people. lakhs of rupees of salary, lakhs of rupees of आपका फीस. गवर्नमेंट के भी बुरे हालात हो रहे हैं because before the Modi government, I remember, मैं अपने कॉलेज का बताता हूँ, I graduated entire graduation I did in 40,000. entire 4 years of graduation, BTech civil engineering, 40,000. Same college में now a semester fee is 2 lakh rupees. It's a government college. 10 years में fees देखिए, sorry, 1 year की, 1 semester नहीं, 1 year की. It has increased that much. और सेम IITs वगैरह की भी आप देख लीजिए, फीस बहुत बढ़ गई है. IIT छोड़ो, इग्नू की फीस बढ़ गई है. इग्नू, which is an open university, it was made for the people who are unable to go for regular program. It was very cheap. Now if you look at their fees few years back and now, it has gone around 10 to 20 times higher. This is the problem we are having in India because of this neoliberal governance. Government support is being withdrawn. Everything this government treats on the basis of purchasing power. उनका आर्ग्यूमेंट भी जेन्युइन होता है. वो कहते हैं if we will not increase the fees, how we will increase your facilities. उनका आर्ग्यूमेंट ये होता है then do not tax us. टैक्स भी तो कर रहे हो. प्रायोरिटी की बात है. बात समझ रहे थे? दिल्ली का आप एग्जांपल लीजिए. दिल्ली हैज अ वेरी सक्सेसफुल स्कूल एजुकेशन मॉडल. 40% ऑफ दिल्लीज बजट, एंटायर बजट ऑफ दिल्ली में 40% गोज टू एजुकेशन. इफ यू गो टू दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट स्कूल, प्राइवेट स्कूल फेल है. फॉर एग्जांपल देयर वाज अ स्कूल इन फ्रंट ऑफ आवर कॉलोनी. ओ भाई, बड़े पैथेटिक स्कूल था वो. सरकारी, इमेजिन कर लो. एंड नाउ लुक, गो टू द स्कूल, इट हैज जिम, इट हैज लैब्स, जिम, लैब एंड स्विमिंग पूल. भाई, गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में स्विमिंग पूल, ठीक है. एंड आपको, दैट इज द स्कूल जहां पे मेलानिया ट्रंप गई थी. When Melania Trump visited India, government of India took her not to UP Bihar school, they took her to Delhi's school. और उसी स्कूल में मेलानिया ट्रंप को लेके गए थे. तो सोचिए गवर्नमेंट स्कूल के हालात एंड लिटरली the education model of Delhi is very good. The investment is very good. The focus is very good ना. हेल्थ में ठीक ही ठाक है लेकिन एजुकेशन बेटर है इनका. बात समझ में आई? सो दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम हियर इज अफोर्डेबिलिटी. अब फ्री तो होने से रहा बिकॉज दिस गवर्नमेंट डज नॉट बिलीव एनीथिंग इन फ्री. ठीक है, दे आर रिमूविंग सब्सिडीज ऑन एवरीथिंग. सो सेकंड बेस्ट सोल्यूशन इज देयर शुड बी assured लोन टू एवरी स्टूडेंट. जैसे अगर आपको पता हो दैट निर्भया केस, दैट ट्रेजिक इंसिडेंट, उसकी अगर आपने डॉक्यूमेंट्री देखी हो, ठीक है, शी आस्क्ड द पेरेंट्स दैट शी वांट टू डू मेडिसिन. हालांकि उसका मेडिसिन शायद बीडीएस वगैरह निकला था, एमबीबीएस नहीं हो पाया. तो द पेरेंट्स वर नॉट वेरी रिच, सो दे हैड ओनली टू ऑप्शंस. ईदर दे से हर नो और दे सेल द एंसेस्ट्रल प्रॉपर्टी एंड दे वर सेविंग दैट एंसेस्ट्रल प्रॉपर्टी फॉर हर मैरिज. ज्यादातर पेरेंट्स एफडी वेफडी इसीलिए बनाते हैं. They were saving that for, and the entire family, they said to the parents, do not sell this. Okay, when the marriage will come, how would you give the dowry? But nonetheless, the parents went against everyone, sold the land, and provided her the education. It is a sad and tragic story of everything, including the failure of the state and incompetence of the society. ये उनकी स्टोरी से ज्यादा ये सोसाइटी के फेलियर की स्टोरी ज्यादा बड़ी है. That parents have to sell land for education. इससे ज्यादा बुरा नहीं हो सकता सब 75 साल की आजादी में. बात समझ में आई? How we can improve this? और कोई महंगा नहीं है ये. जितना खर्चा आप इलेक्शन में करते हैं ना उसका 1/3 में हो जाएगा ये. The amount of money every year आपको पता हो, जैसे प्रीवियस इलेक्शन में अराउंड $6 billion खर्च हुए थे. 6 billion बहुत बड़ा अमाउंट होता है. इतना हमारा बजट नहीं है एजुकेशन का. 1/3 of that money and you can have it. और यहाँ पे हम किसी को फ्री नहीं दे रहे हैं. What we are saying is there should be assured loan to every student और it is a secured loan. आपकी डिग्री आपको तब मिलेगी when you will pay back the loan. So what you will happen, मान लेते you graduated from 12th and your parents cannot afford a degree program. You will go to a bank, you will apply. First though you have to secure a rank to get admission. If you have a rank, you have to go to a bank, apply for education loan. The government will give you a loan at very subsidized norms. Very, very, very subsidized. मान लेते हैं 2% या 3% पे. You will go through your degree program. After that, your degree will be not given to you. You will get a provisional certificate. The degree will go to the bank. The bank will keep it till the time you repay your loan. और ये आसानी से किया जा सकता है. इसके लिए बहुत खर्चा नहीं लगेगा. अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है? गवर्नमेंट लोन स्कीम है but they are only for few categories. जैसे SC/ST OBCs के लिए गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड लोन एजुकेशन सपोर्ट. जनरल कैटेगरी में यूजुअली नहीं मिलता है. पर उसमें भी एक प्रॉब्लम है. यू हैव टू टेक एडमिशन देन यू गेट द लोन. अब एडमिशन लेने के लिए यू हैव टू पे द फर्स्ट फीस. मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द पीपल हु आर डूइंग एजुकेशन बाय लोन, उनका देखना, उनसे पूछ लेना, दे हैव टू पे द रजिस्ट्रेशन फी एंड देन द फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर फी. After that, the bank processes and give you the money as refund. अब इतना पैसा होता तुम कर नहीं लेते. बात समझ में आई? So what we want to give is assured loan to every student. No one should be deprived of education just because they cannot afford it. मैं तो कहता हूँ free होना चाहिए. Education is something, it should not be somebody's monopoly. Education and health, these are two things that should be absolutely free for everyone. irrespective of the person, चाहे अमीर हो चाहे गरीब हो. बात समझ में आई? और जो लोग टैलेंटेड हैं, मींस हु सिक्योर गुड रैंक्स, उनके लिए स्कॉलरशिप. So this is a recommendation that there should be assured loan facility for every student, irrespective of caste, gender, region, religion, and scholarship for every student who is meritorious. Meritorious मतलब good rank वगैरह ले आया गलती से तो. क्लियर है? सो दीज आर सम रिकमेंडेशन एंड द इश्यूज. होना कुछ नहीं है पर फिर भी पढ़ने में अच्छा लगा. ठीक है, लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट न्यूज. नेक्स्ट इज आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एक्ट. इट हैज बीन पास्ड इन यूरोपियन यूनियन. यूरोपियन यूनियन हैज पास आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एक्ट. अब ये पास क्यों करा गया है? बिकॉज देयर वाज एन एप्रीहेंशन that Europe has excessive regulation of AI. यूरोप में एक एप्रीहेंशन था that यूरोप हैज एक्सेसिव रेगुलेशन ऑफ एआई, सो दे वांट टू डाइल्यूट दिस एक्सेसिव रेगुलेशन. इसलिए कानून लाया जा रहा है. यूरोपियन कमीशन हैज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड अ सेट ऑफ रूल्स दैट एम्ड एट फॉस्टरिंग एआई इनोवेशन. अब जल्दी से देख लेते हैं इसमें है क्या. द प्लान इंक्लूड्स acquiring, upgrading and operating AI dedicated supercomputers, training of general purpose AI मॉडल्स. अब एआई आपको पता है हर चीज में इस्तेमाल हो रहा है आजकल. जैसे चैट जीपीटी हो गया, इवन ये और स्नैपचैट वगैरह में जो फिल्टर्स होते हैं, दे आर ऑल एआई बेस्ड, which look at the facial feature and accordingly convert it to something else. The plan also focuses on supporting AI startups and research ecosystem. Now the question is, why this drama? Why the AI Act has been brought by the European Union? पहला नंबर तो यूरोपियन यूनियन सबको पता है, आई बिलीव. यूरोपियन यूनियन इज अ कोलिशन और अ कलेक्शन ऑफ द यूरोपियन नेशन टुगेदर इन अ प्लेटफॉर्म. दिस इज व्हाट you call security community. This is what you call security community. What is security community? A community of nations which do not consider each other as a threat, but consider an outside party as a threat. That is what we call security community. So European Union is a kind of security community, and it has graduated to the level, it has even supranational bodies. एक तो national हो गया, supranational, like EU Parliament, which make laws for the entire Europe, EU Council of Ministers, EU Commission, ठीक है, EU Court of Justice. So they have created supranational bodies which give judgments, which make laws, and everyone obeys, including national governments. ठीक है, so EU has a very successful model. Why they are bringing this thing drama? Because they think that because of over regulation of AI, they are lagging behind American companies. उनको ये लग रहा है क्योंकि अमेरिका, आपको पता है, अमेरिका इज अ प्योरली नियो लिबरल कंट्री, एंड प्योरली नियो लिबरल कंट्री में रेगुलेशंस आर वर्चुअली एब्सेंट. दे डू नॉट रेगुलेट मच द प्राइवेट सेक्टर. अब यूरोपियन यूनियन हैज ब्रॉट स्ट्रॉन्ग एआई रेगुलेशन. They do not want you to use AI for facial recognition, AI for behavioral practices, because I told you now we can change habits and AI can help it. And पर habit change अच्छे के लिए भी होती है और बुरे के लिए भी होती है. So these regulation provide clear guidelines about regulation. चलो मैं अभी करता हूँ. We'll have 5 minutes break. ठीक है, उसके बाद कंटिन्यू करेंगे इसे. चलिए शुरू करते हैं. So why the EU is bringing this law? I hope I told you it is clear that EU thinks that they have gone for excessive regulation of AI, and because of this they are lagging in terms of competition with the American companies. And why is it so? I told you America is a neoliberal country. Neoliberalism basically believes in market fundamentalism, and so the American country, the America usually do not regulate private sector, not much. The regulation in America is very weak and very minimalistic. Clear this much? So that's why they are bringing this. No, that's why they are bringing this new law. Next, criticism. It was implemented in 2003, has imposed strict penalties on companies violating the regulation. The act restricts facial recognition technology, the use of AI to control behavior. It allows the government to do real-time biometric surveillance, but only in public areas that to under. It means they regulate AI too much. But the question is why? Because when you fight for something, you respect it. The freedom. I told you freedom, the liberty. So if you look at liberty's origin, the Western people have sacrificed a lot. There have been numerous wars, revolutions. Then they have acquired this liberty. The standard of liberty in the Western countries is way higher than anywhere in the world, particularly in America and Britain. So European Union do not want the governments to use AI to curtail the liberty. And something like this, you have nothing like this in India. India में doesn't matter. Why? That is what, if you remember, आपने शायद वो नाटक देखा होगा, क्या नाम है उसका? If you've seen that program, Big Boss. Big Boss, which is the Indian version of American program Big Brother. From where this word comes, Big Brother. देखिए समझिए, AI is very dangerous right now. How dangerous? It can make governments, it can break governments. And particularly few people in this world are so powerful, they can decide who will become prime minister or president. Particularly Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Bill Gates. FANGs countries की मैं बात कर, FANGs companies की बात कर रहा हूँ, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. They decides who can become prime minister, who can become president in any country on this earth, including America. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा मैं बता देता हूँ. So Big Brother, this comes from, it's a phrase from a George Orwell's novel 1984. George Orwell's novel 1984, where he predicted a kind of setup where the government is watching everyone every time at every place. So when there is something we call observer effect, जब आपको पता होता है somebody is observing you, you manipulate your behavior, you do not show your true behavior. इसलिए the best true behavior you show is in personal sphere, bathroom singer type. ठीक है, public में you don't speak, public में you do not sing, you do not dance, पर personal sphere में मस्त dance कर रहे, टूटा फूटा जो भी आता है, because nobody is observing you there. Now imagine somebody is observing you every second of your life, even to the intimate movements you have. You will be fearful, you will be regulated very much. That is what the George Orwell said. He predicted a setup where the government is watching everyone every time, and the tagline was, the big brother is watching you. And from there the word Big Brother comes. इसी का Indian version है Big Boss. अब problem क्या है? 1984 में when George Orwell predicted this, तब AI इतना advanced था नहीं. Those novels are very old. So nonetheless, AI was not very much available. Ab AI has made it even more dangerous. Ab now government does not have to watch you every second, and AI can watch you every second, and it can report the government whenever it feels something wrong are happening. Okay, there is limitation to Big Brother, na? How long they can watch you? But in AI setup, it is not available. Let me give you a very small example how AI, artificial intelligence based technologies are dangerous. जैसे nowadays आप notice करना in Hawthorne effect, yes, in any protest in India, notice that there are two kind of policemen. एक who are regulating the protest, एक who are having cameras. ये एक नया ट्रेंड चला है, पुलिस वाले आजकल कैमरा लेके घूमते हैं, पहले नहीं घूमते थे. Why they are doing this? Whenever there is a protest is happening, the police personnel nowadays notice they have a camera. So if you are going in a protest, from now on cover your faces, because they have a camera, they are recording everyone, and then they feed that video to an AI setup. And that AI setup, Telangana में try किया गया था इसे, that AI setup identify every face. Now government knows who you are. उस वक्त तो आप crowd में थे and you thought nobody know who you are, you can say anything. But now government knows who you are, and if it want to retaliate, it can, whenever it want. Now from now on, if you're going to a protest, cover your faces for sure. ठीक है, clear है? This is the problem. This too much use of artificial intelligence is diluting people's liberty. ऐसा नहीं है बुरा है, अच्छा भी है. जैसे for example speed violations. Nowadays every highways, expressways have cameras, and those cameras automatically generate challans. If you have excessive speed, they record, they generate challans sent to your mobile phone. अच्छा भी है, ऐसा नहीं है. Similarly, some states it has been tried, cameras are available and they are connected to an AI setup. Whenever some crime is happening and it is in the field view of the camera, they report to the local police station of the crime, so that the police can immediately respond. So अच्छा भी है, बुरा भी है, but we are concerned about बुरा more, because it gives too much power to whom? The state, which is already powerful. That is the reason in constitution you have fundamental rights. Constitution में all the powers are with the state. देखिए, bureaucracy is states, police is state, judiciary is state, everything is on the state. Individual has nothing on his side or her side. That's why we said, if you have all the power, we will have limitations on your power, and those limitations are known as fundamental rights. But nonetheless, this artificial intelligence is diluting fundamental rights. These software, hardware, spywares. अब imagine somebody has access to your phone and सबको पता है तुम incognito mode में क्या क्या देख रहे हो. Then imagine the day you will turn revolutionary, the government will turn all revolutionary also. They are like, open this file. And ये क्या है, ये कौन सा सर्च लिंक है, हमें बताओ. बताओ ये तुम्हारे घर वालों को भेज दिए क्या? Jokes apart, it works. If government knows about you, it control. मैंने आपको बताया more or less, if your phone and PC is connected to internet, it is being on surveillance every time. जैसे रॉ has developed a system नेत्र. रॉ का एक सिस्टम है, आप इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी में पढ़ेंगे नेत्र. Under the system, रॉ analyze every traffic that comes to India and goes out of India. उसमें it has some catch words. जैसे मान लेते हैं somebody searching for IEDs. The raw, the AI setup, it will highlight that this signal captures the word IED. Then it will send to the analyst. The analyst will go in further details. This is called Netra. It has been built. Similarly, America built a program, PRISM program. PRISM में क्या था? America said it was a proper AI setup in which it said we are developing this for the enemies of America. But government, मैंने आपको बताया, government used nationalism for their favor. But then आपने पढ़ा होगा Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden was the person, he worked in NSA, National Security Agency of America. He revealed the secret. The secret was the PRISM program. It was a complex AI-based algorithm which was collecting data from every American. The American government was watching everyone, every time, through their phone cameras. अब हर किसी के पास फोन है, आपको क्या पता कौन से टाइम पे आपका कैमरा कौन एक्सेस कर रहा है? You cannot know this. You do not know how your laptop is being accessed. जब प्रिज्म प्रोग्राम सामने आया, देखिए अमेरिकन गवर्नमेंट ने क्या बोल के डेवलप किया था? That PRISM program is for the enemies of America, but it was exclusively used on Americans only. That's how the governments behave. That's why European Union made it's a strict regulation. They want to regulate how the AI will be used. It cannot be used. It cannot be used for facial recognition, जो दिल्ली पुलिस हर दिन करती है. It cannot be used to control behavior, जो दिल्ली पुलिस हर दिन कर रही है और बाकी पुलिस भी करती होंगी. ठीक है, and it can be used by the government for biometric surveillance, but only in public areas. If you apply this act in India, then all the governments in India are criminal. because they do all these things every day. बात समझ? That's why you have no law in India, and कभी आएगा भी नहीं, because सभी involved है. ये भी नहीं है कि one party is involved. Every party is involved. They are making fake video of this person. They are making fake video. आजकल आपने पता होगा deep fakes आ रहे हैं. Deep fakes. जैसे आपने देखा होगा Instagram वगैरह पे द मोदी and अमित शाह singing songs. ठीक है, they are proposing each other. जैसे वो Italian Prime Minister or something and Modi ji is proposing to each other and something. How this all is happening? Deep fakes. These are AI based algorithm. They use the facial features and they manipulate the facial feature and it appears somebody is speaking and it literally appears speaking. आप differentiate नहीं कर सकते हैं. Deep fakes are so good you cannot differentiate between an actual person speaking and a deep fake. अब now imagine national security problem. I can make Modi to say anything about Muslims. उन्होंने बोला भी नहीं होगा. I can make him to say anything. I can incite riots. बात समझ में? This is the problem we have with AI. And that's why they have brought an artificial intelligence act to control AI use. Particularly, it should not be used for surveillance, for behavioral controls. ठीक है? Clear this much? इंडिया में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, तो देखते हैं आगे. बाकी इसमें पॉइंट्स इतना डिटेल में मत जाइएगा, बस रिमेंबर व्हाई इट हैज बीन ब्रॉट एंड सम बेसिक फीचर्स ऑफ द एआई एक्ट. दैट्स इट. बाकी वो पता है जनरेटिव एआई सॉफ्टवेयर वगैरह पढ़ लेना यार. अब इंडियाज अप्रोच. इंडिया हैज सम सिमिलर प्रोग्राम समवेयर. जैसे इंडिया आल्सो इज ट्राइंग टू अडॉप्ट एआई. इंडिया इज बिल्डिंग व्हाट? India is building as the part of National Artificial Intelligence Program, and we have a national mission on supercomputing, national mission on AI. We have both national missions under which we are building around 10,000 to 30,000 GPUs. GPUs means graphic processing unit. एक CPU होता है, that's different. The processor in your CPU is different. That is a weaker part. GPU are often used for gaming because it requires intensive computing. तो GPU अब हर कोई afford नहीं कर सकता. They are very costly one. So government is thinking they will build GPU infrastructure and it will be available on nominal fee to the startups. मान लेते हैं आप एक startup है who want to use some artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence के लिए you require a large number of code and algorithms and they require high processing power. अब आप super computer तो afford कर नहीं सकते हो. So what you will do? You will lease on rent the government GPUs. You will use their bandwidth, so they will process. They will process. You will pay a nominal fee और आपका काम बन जाएगा. Rather than purchasing a supercomputer, you can lease something. Clear? So this is Government of India's effort. And who is developing this? Please remember this institute name. Center for CDAC. Center for Development of Advanced Computing. And it comes under METI. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. चलिए फाइन है. बाकी ये कुछ प्रोग्राम है, देख लेना. आपका सेंटर फॉर रिसर्च एंड सेंटर फॉर एक्सीलेंस, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स प्रमोटिंग एआई, एंड द प्रिंसिपल्स. देयर आर 7 कोर प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इंडियाज एआई जर्नी. सेफ्टी एंड रिलायबिलिटी, इक्वालिटी, इंक्लूसिविटी एंड नॉन डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, privacy and security, transparency, accountability and protection. मुझे नहीं पता इनमें से कितना मानते हैं, but nonetheless these are the 6 core principle of India's AI journey. Clear है? So AI में हमने क्या समझा? What is AI? सबको पता है. Artificial intelligence, which basically analyze large amount of data to create behavioral patterns. Analyzing those behavioral pattern, it can predict actions. It can even manipulate to create actions. जैसे it happened in case of American election. Donald Trump won by using this tool. How they behaved? They purchased data from Facebook. They analyzed that entire data, and based on that, they found the people who are likely to support Hillary Clinton, the opposition party, who are likely to support Donald Trump, and who have not decided yet. And then they targeted them with fake videos and fake posts. That the way WhatsApp University works in India. People got manipulated and they chose Donald Trump as their president and they suffered. You choose a clown and you suffer. They suffered. Corona period में America has the largest death in any country. जबकि America is the world's superpower, technologically advanced. Yet it has the largest number of that because they chose a clown in power. That clown said, Corona is a hoax. Do not take vaccines. They will make you impotent. He said this thing openly and his follower believed and they suffered. वो नहीं मरा लेकिन उसके follower तो मरे. And large number of Americans died because a clown was in power. This is the problem. But nonetheless, how he came to power? Data. याद रखिए आज के समय में data is more powerful than anything in the world. And if you control data, you control the world. And 5 companies control data in this world. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. They control virtually 80 to 90% of world data. And so they control the 80 to 90% of world population. They can manipulate. They can make governments. They can break governments. They can bring revolutions. They can kill revolutions. That is how the phenomena of Bhakt has been made in India. Bhakt na kuch people who are unemployed, have nothing, but yet they will vote for one person. How they have been created using the same data analysis. तो इससे क्या समझ में आता है? We need a law. जैसे यूरोपियन यूनियन ने लाई है लॉ, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एक्ट, वी ऑल्सो नीड अ लॉ एज सून एज पॉसिबल. ठीक है, महंगे महंगे सपने होने नहीं है अभी. चलिए, एनीवे क्लियर है. लेट्स कम टू द लास्ट न्यूज. लास्ट न्यूज इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक ऑफ दिस अर्थ राइट नाउ, राम टेम्पल. So let me give you a very small story of Ram Temple. What is the drama here? देखिए, of course, it will be a place where, according to the scriptures, Ram may have been born. No doubt over this. It's very obvious. Hinduism was in India before Islam. It's very obvious that the mosque that you have today were temple one upon a time. No doubt over this. होगा ही होगा. It's very obvious. जैसे for example, Europe में which came first, Christianity or Islam? Christianity. Christianity was born first, then came Islam. तो obviously बात है, all the mosques in Europe were once upon a time churches. जैसे टर्की में एक पॉपुलर है, मुझे उसका नाम ध्यान नहीं आ रहा, उसका ड्रामा चलता रहता है. कभी वो चर्च बनता है, कभी वो मॉस्क बन जाता है. कीप्स नहीं, जेरूसलम का अलग सीन है. टर्की में है. टर्की में बिकॉज थ्रू आउट अगर हम मिडिवल यूरोप देखेंगे, मिडिवल यूरोपियन हिस्ट्री इज नथिंग बट क्रूसेड्स एंड जिहाद. क्रूसेड एंड जिहाद इज नॉट व्हाट यू थिंक टुडे. Crusade is the part of Christianity to basically fight for the religion. Same jihad is on Islamic side. Understand, Christianity and Islam are brother and sister religion. They are known as Abrahamic religions. Judaism, Jew, Christianity and Islam. Jesus was a Jew who founded Christianity. In similar essence, you can say Muhammad was born into a Christian fashion, created Islam. बात समझ में? जैसे इंडिया के केस में सिख, Guru Nanak basically was born as a Hindu who found Sikhism. Mahavir, born Hindu, found Jainism. Gautam Buddha, born Hindu, found Buddhism. So they have came out of Hinduism the same way. There is a genesis of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and they are considered to have the common ancestor, that is Abraham, the main person. That's why these three are known as Abrahamic religions. यहाँ तक समझ में आया? Islam, Christianity and Judaism, they are fighting since antiquity. उनकी लड़ाई आज की नहीं है, हमेशा से चलती आ रही है. They are fighting with each other because they are trying to prove which is better. ऐसा हिंदुइज्म में नहीं है. हिंदुइज्म में the subsects are not fighting with each other. Islam is fighting with Christianity because Islam में Jesus is a prophet, but Muhammad is the last prophet. Quran में Jesus is mentioned as one of the prophet, but according to Quran, the Muhammad is the last prophet. So Islam believes that Muhammad is the last prophet and there is no prophet after Muhammad. जबकि Christianity क्या believe करती है? That Jesus is the last. So this is the fight that is going on. So in Christianity, what Islam is saying is blasphemy. Because Islam क्या कह रहा है? That Jesus came as a prophet, but the real and the last prophet is Muhammad. So his word is more true than Jesus. तो obviously Jesus को तो बुरा लगना ही है. Jesus and the Islam and Christianity are fighting because they have same principles. Both are expansionary. Both believe in expansion, missionary. both believe in missionary, both believe that they are the truest of the true religion, both believe they are the end point of history. हिंदुइज्म में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, बिकॉज हिंदुइज्म में टाइम कैसा है, साइक्लिक है. क्रिश्चियनिटी इस्लाम में टाइम साइक्लिक नहीं है. उनके मुताबिक द टाइम विल गो ऑन, देयर विल बी एंड पॉइंट नोन एज जजमेंट डे, when the God himself will come on the earth and judge everyone for their deeds. If you have lived according to Christianity, then heaven, otherwise hell. If you have lived according to tenets of Islam, then Jannat, otherwise Jahannam. बात समझ में? हिंदुइज्म में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. हिंदुइज्म में एवरीथिंग इज साइक्लिक. हमारा क्या है, टाइम साइकिल में चलता है. तो वी हैव दिस, क्या बोलते हैं, सत्ययुग, दिस 4 युग होते हैं ना, कोई त्रेता वगैरह वगैरह, कलयुग, कलयुग के बाद फिर आएगा सतयुग. तो हमारा रिसाइकलमेंट चलता रहता है. ठीक है, तो हमारा कोई इशू है नहीं इसमें. हाँ, आई थिंक आया सोफिया नाम है उसका. यस, जहां तक मुझे याद है इस्तांबुल में आया सोफिया करके नाम है उसका शायद. इट कीप्स ऑन कन्वर्टिंग डिपेंडिंग अपॉन हु कंट्रोल्स. कभी वो चर्च बना है, कभी वो मॉस्क बना है, कभी वो चर्च बना है, कभी वो मॉस्क बना है. व्हाई वी आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस? टू अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग, दैट यस, that mosque that you have today were once upon a time temples, no doubt over this, because of course Hinduism was earlier in India than Islam. Ab imagine yourself as a Hindu leader. मान लेते हैं you are a Hindu king of India. Yes, tomorrow you capture Iran. What will be the first thing you will do? क्या करोगे? हाँ, सीधी सी बात है. Because you are a Hindu king, you want your subjects to have the same religious value like you. Because if they have different religious value, you have different religious value, then they can revolt anytime. They will not find connected with you. और ये common रहा है हमेशा. Whichever king came around the world, they converted the subject to what they believed. जैसे गुप्ता पीरियड में, इंडिया में गुप्ता पीरियड में they enforced Hinduism. अशोकन पीरियड में they enforced Buddhism. So depending upon the king's belief, they enforce those beliefs on the subjects. अब फर्क ये है कि some king impose with you can say with aggression, some with will. जैसे Akbar never imposed Islam on India. It was like, you want to accept it, fine, otherwise doesn't matter, because he himself did not believe in Islam very much. He found his own religion, Akbarnama. Ilahi, Jinn Ilahi, क्या था? Akbarnama was his biography or something. हाँ, तो he founded his own religion. बात समझ में आई? अब तो he was a liberal person. हाँ, दीन इलाही, yes, दीन इलाही. दिन माने I think something religion से होता है. Then you have Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb was highly radical. तो बात समझ में आई सबको? Why I'm telling all this? Understand that yes, in past they may be temple, or they must be temple. मैं कहता हूँ they may have been converted into mosque later on, but the problem is how much you reverse history. The more you reverse history, you create a fractured future. The more you reverse history, you create a fractured future. Because understand, minority always has a damaged psyche. Always. They have a damaged psyche. जैसे आपके केस में देख लीजिए, मान लेते you are the 2 boys in a class filled with 60 girls. So what will happen? You both will sit together, पहली बात तो. ठीक है? And second, if anyone laughs, you may think कि आप ही पे बात हो रही है. That's how the minority psyche works. Minorities are always sensitive. And चाहे उनकी कोई बात कर भी ना रहा हो, still they feel कि बात हमारी ही हो रही है भाई. इतना laughter तभी आ सकता है. बात समझ में आई? So this is, you need to understand that yes, Ram temple issue was a long issue, because it was believed that it was once upon a time the Janam Bhumi of the Ram, and it was later on converted to the mosque, Babri mosque as we call it. Ultimately this drama continued. तो ये बहुत पुराना है, ब्रिटिश टाइम से चल रहा है. जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा है, the campaign to acquire impetus in 19th century after the Marathas filed an appeal to the Britishers for control over Ayodhya, Kashi and Mathura. 1751. देखिए 1751 बहुत पुराना इशू है ये. ठीक है. The court documents 1822 का जो कोर्ट डॉक्यूमेंट, जो लास्ट अवेलेबल डॉक्यूमेंट है, it says that mosque is on the site of So it means the mosque has been present at least from 1822. उससे पहले भी होगा, but the last proper document which says that mosque is there is 1822. But nonetheless, this is the oldest issue in India you can imagine. चलिए fine है. Then this issue take over the turn in 1949 when the ideal of Ram was placed in the mosque and generating call for a larger shrine. तो उसके बाद चीजें normally चलती रहती. Things go bad when things go bad in particular time known as a person called Shah Banu. तो यहाँ तक सबको समझ में आया. This was an old issue. The Maratha started, they claimed the site. Then the last document of 1822 shows that there was a mosque present there. So it's an ancient issue, you can say, continuing since the time of Britishers. ठीक है, fine है. अब Shah Banu, she was a woman, Muslim woman, who filed a petition in Supreme Court for alimony. Alimony Islam में नहीं होती. She filed it. Supreme Court granted the alimony. Ab the radical element of the Muslim society, they protested. They were like, Supreme Court cannot interfere in our personal laws. Okay, and then Rajiv Gandhi government was there, and Rajiv Gandhi got pressurized, and ultimately Rajiv Gandhi reversed the judgment by passing a law. So BJP took it as an instance of Muslim appeasement. और वो आज भी कहते हैं, बीजेपी से आप पूछोगे, बीजेपी के लीडर आज भी ये कहते हैं that Congress is secularism is Muslim appeasement, and this case clearly highlights that. But nonetheless, all leaders are like this. ठीक है. अब क्या हुआ? This happened, then Allahabad High Court or something gave a judgment कि till the time we decide on the dispute, let the Hindu side worship there. जैसे अभी ज्ञान व्यापी में हुआ है, ज्ञान व्यापी में भी वर्शिप अलाउ कर, सेम प्रोसेस चल रहा है. जैसा अयोध्या में हुआ था, सेम यही हो रहा है. Initially you create a dispute and then you were allowed to pray, and over time it will be converted. Same यहाँ हुआ. So you were allowed to pray. अब the government implemented that, Congress government implemented the judgment within hours. इतनी efficient government कभी नहीं होती. So BJP took it as an instance of double appeasement. एक तो you appeased Muslim by reversing Shah Banu. Second, you appease Hindus by opening the gates for worship quickly. Double appeasement. उसके ऊपर BJP decided that there is a problem with Congress. 1979 में a commission was appointed known as Mandal Commission. That's okay. किसी ने भी तोड़ा हो, पर तोड़ के बना दिया था. We are discussing that. 1979 में Mandal Commission was appointed, and Mandal Commission recommended reservation for OBCs. Ab now understand the politics of India. BJP plays the politics of religion. They aims to unify Hindus into a vote bank. जबकि Congress plays politics of casteism. They try to divide Hindus into caste and unify minorities as a vote bank. तो मंडल कमीशन में ओबीसी रिजर्वेशन आ गया. short division of Hinduism into caste. Obviously बात है, the upper caste will be angry, and बहुत ड्रामा हुआ था. There were a lot of people who literally protested, and a lot of people burned themselves alive. upper caste थे, they literally burned. जब इसका protest चल रहा था मंडल कमीशन के खिलाफ, they literally burned themselves alive. बहुत ड्रामा हुआ था. So Mandal Commission divides Hindus into casteism, because the upper caste will resent the lower caste, the OBC will resent the upper caste, and casteism चलता रहेगा. BJP wants to unify Hindus into a vote bank and divide minorities into segments. That's why they supported the woman cause in Islam. उनको लगा इस्लाम में वैसे हमें वोट नहीं करने वाले. If we will support the triple talaq from the woman side, at least they will vote us. हालांकि वो भी नहीं हुआ, वो एक अलग बात है. But nonetheless, that's how the politics runs. BJP plays the politics of religion, and other parties plays the politics of caste. ठीक है. अब मंडल कमीशन के काउंटर में चलाई गई रथ यात्रा. बिकॉज मंडल कमीशन क्या कर रही है? इट इज डिवाइडिंग हिंदूज इनटू कास्ट बाय पुटिंग देम अपर कास्ट वर्सेस लोअर कास्ट. द कमंडल और द रथ यात्रा, इट एम्स टू यूनिफाई ऑल हिंदूज अंडर वन अम्ब्रेला ऑफ राम जी. बात समझ में आई? This is known as the politics of Mandal and Kamandal. So this is how it became political. Ultimately, that Rath Yatra culminated to the demolition of Babri Mosque. If West में 9/11 is the line that divides the Western history, तो आप कह सकते हैं बाबरी मॉस्क is the line that divide Indian history also. उसके बाद जितने riots इंडिया में हुए unparalleled है. Immediately after that there was Mumbai bombing. Mumbai bombing के बाद you know that 2002 Gujarat riots और आज तक चलते आ रहे हैं. तो the incidents that sparked everything started with here. Clear है? So this is the history of Ram Temple. Ultimately, Supreme Court gave a judgment in 2019 in Muhammad Siddiqui case that the land belongs to Ram Lalla, and they gave a counter land to the Muslim party also. They have got a new land and a bigger land where they are constructing a hospital and a mosque together. Okay, chale fine. This is what we have.
So how did the Hindus know that that specific land is the Ram birthplace? I mean, in Ayodhya, any other place can also be there.
Sculptures वगैरह में है ना that Ram was born in that place. हमारा जो रामायण वगैरह उसके basis पे वो बोल रहे थे, sculptures के basis पे. Archaeological survey तो
in
temple
Ayodhya and
पैदा होने की
any other place also it can be, not on the place
could
of
be
mosque
anything.
only.
देखिए, you are saying that he could be born any place else.
No means in Ayodhya he can be born at other place too, means mosque वो जाके देख के आए थे कि जहाँ mosque बनी वहीं उनका birth हुआ था.
He could have been born at any place. Who knows? जैसे who knows where the Muhammad born? हमें तो वही पता है ना जो किताब में लिखा है. The thing is, there are a lot. देखिए, even remember, कुरान जो है कई साल बाद लिखी गई थी मोहम्मद के. कुरान was written, I think 500-600 years later of Muhammad. So क्या पता जो कुरान में लिखा है वो exact word मोहम्मद के है या नहीं है? Who knows? Similarly, देखिए, this is, understand Ashneet, religion works on belief. Religion is not about rationality. If you start questioning religion, तो religion टिकेगा कहाँ 2 सेकंड भी? Religion is all about belief. You have to believe जो लिखा है वो सत्य है. ठीक है? So that is how it works. Clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
That is what we are saying, Samartha. It may be written in some of the text of India, some Puran, some Ramayana, whatever, who knows. और वैसे मैंने आपको बताया इंडिया में there are too many variation. रामायण के भी हजारों variation अगर आपको पता हो. Not in all रामायण राम जी killed रावण. कुछ रामायण में सीता ने भी रावण को मारा है. ठीक है? फादर ने भी बताया क्या है. कुछ में सीता जी के फादर थे रावण जी. अरे बढ़िया है. अच्छा, हाँ. This is what India is. इंडिया में एवरीथिंग इज टू डाइवर्स. सेम स्टोरी, हमें वो स्टोरी पता है जो हमने बी आर चोपड़ा के सीरियल में देख ली. बी आर चोपड़ा सीरियल रामायण, whatever he showed there, we accepted it as the final truth. There are too many variety, too many variations. हिंदुइज्म की यही बात तो हमेशा अच्छी रही है. It has too many debates within it. Too many. छोटी मोटी भी नहीं, हल्की बुल्की नहीं, सीधी बड़ी बड़ी debates. There are Vedas and then there are philosophy who denied Vedas outrightly. Outrightly they denied कि है ही नहीं भाई, वेदा बेकार चीज. मीमांसा वगैरह आप पढ़ेंगे, सशकुन्य सिद्धांत वगैरह बोलते हैं इन्हें, षष्ठ दर्शना बोलते हैं, 6-fold philosophy of Hinduism. उसमें आपका मीमांसा, योग और कई प्रकार के आते हैं, चरवाका वगैरह. जैसे चरवाका क्लियरली कहता है there is nothing called spiritualism. जो है वो यही है, खाओ पियो यही मरने वाले हो, enjoy your life. तो चरवाका is known as the rationalist philosophy of Hinduism. इसलिए हिंदुइज्म वास्ट है, diverse, and everyone is a Hindu more or less. आप चर्च, आप if you go to a temple you are a Hindu. If you don't go to a temple you are a Hindu. You read a sculpture you are a Hindu. You don't read a sculpture you are a Hindu. Hinduism is that vast. It does not impose a one way of living, and it takes a comprehensive view of humanity. तो इसीलिए तो हिंदुइज्म सर्वाइव कर रहा है. Except Hinduism, no way of living has survived from ancient time. बहुत सारे थे. Islam and Christianity uprooted all. जैसे पर्शिया में आपको पता है होगा, ज़ोरोस्ट्रियन, it was uprooted by Islam. अफगानिस्तान बुद्धिस्ट हुआ करता था, अगर आपको पता हो तो. अफगानिस्तान used to be Buddhist. It was uprooted by Islam. ठीक है? तो Islam and Christianity uprooted a lot of native way of living, except Hinduism. Islam remain in India for 600 years and Christianity remain in India for around 200 years, तो क्या ही सकते हैं. But yet they could not remove Hinduism, and Hinduism is still a common sense. Why? Because we are very good at digesting everything. जो भी आता है हम उसे डाइजेस्ट कर लेते हैं. हम इतना मैनिपुलेट कर देते हैं कि सामने वाला खुद पे डाउट करता है. चलिए, एनीवे जो भी, इट्स गुड. हाँ समर्था, वही हम कह रहे हैं. पक्का वहां पे टेम्पल होगा, नो डाउट. टेम्पल को डिस्ट्रॉय करके ही मॉस्क बनाया गया होगा, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आप आर्ट्स एंड कल्चर में पढ़ेंगे इलोरा जनता केव्स, उसमें देखिए, उसमें बड़ा ड्रामा है. उसमें देयर आर नंबर ऑफ केव्स व्हिच हैव स्कल्पचर्स ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स. कभी आपको बुद्धिज्म है, उसके ऊपर उसमें गॉड्स बनाए गए हैं, मतलब बुद्धिस्ट केव थी, बाद में हिंदू में कन्वर्ट हो गई, फिर जैन में कन्वर्ट हो गई. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ केव्स देयर वेयर स्कल्पचर्स हैव चेंज्ड फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम डिपेंडिंग अपॉन ऑफ कोर्स हु वाज यूजिंग देम. तो ऐसे ही चलता है, बेसिक वन इनहेरिटेड अर्थ है. पर कॉमन सेंस ये है कि हिंदुइज्म केम अर्लियर इन इंडिया, तो कॉमन सेंस यही है कि दीज वर टेंपल्स हु वर लेटर ऑन कन्वर्टेड इनटू मॉस्क. क्योंकि इस्लाम बाद में आया. अगर इस्लाम पहले आता तो आप अपोजिट आर्ग्यूमेंट कर सकते थे. सेम यूरोप में यू कैन आर्ग्यू, ऑफ कोर्स दे वर मॉस्क, दे वर चर्चेस फर्स्ट, दे वर लेटर ऑन कन्वर्टेड टू मॉस्क, बिकॉज़ इस्लाम केम लेटर. सेम केस में. चलो एनीवे, मेरा मेन पॉइंट ये है, do not assert history too much. Yes, injustices have taken place in history, but if you stretch history too much, you lose your future. कितना कन्वर्ट करोगे, किस हद तक कन्वर्ट करोगे. ठीक है, अभी आपने ये हो गया, और बहुत अच्छा है कि इस पे कोई डिस्प्यूट नहीं है. अब इवन द मुस्लिम साइड रिलक्टेंटली ही सही एक्सेप्ट कर चुकी है जजमेंट को, तो इट्स अ गुड थिंग. अब ज्ञान व्यापी पे बात आ गई. Then you will move to next site, then next site, then next site. Remember, there is a limitation to tolerance. कितनी sites आप convert करोगे? After a point of time, it could be unsustainable. इतना भी conversion ठीक नहीं है. बात समझ में आई? और anyway, ये चलता रहेगा जब तक government does not have something to show. अब job के नाम पे थोड़ा ना वोट मांगा जाएगा. Clear है? So this will keep on going on. Anyway, so it's a good thing कि this issue is solved. There is no dispute on Ram Janambhoomi. Even the Muslim side has accepted the judgment, so it's a done and dead deal. हाँ, जो अब नए इशू शुरू हो रहे हैं ज्ञान वापी वगैरह, they can become the next अयोध्या, वो एक अलग बात है. Nonetheless, अब जल्दी से देखते हैं what are the important features of राम मंदिर. It has been constructed in नगर style. ये आप याद रखेंगे. It may be asked in prelims as well. And what are the structure? It has been built without iron and steel, basically stone architecture है, and nagar style में है, and stone architecture which are gathered from Rajasthan, Pansi, Bahapur, जो भी reason है देख लेना. It is a complex which has been built in ancient nagar architecture. It has some deities and whatever जो भी इसमें होगा. Around the main temple there is a rectangular peripheral known as Paracotta, which is seen in the temple of South India but not North India. Even though it is nagar style, ये एक चीज है which has been taken from Dravidian. There are three styles in India, particular temple architecture: nagar, Dravidian, and Visara. ठीक है, Visara is a combination of the Dravidian and the nagar style. तो ये किस स्टाइल में बना है? नगर में. बाकी आप पढ़ लेना. जल्दी से नगर स्टाइल देख लेते हैं. The nagar architecture that we have, it originated in India in around 5th century CE, common era, during the late Gupta period. During the late Gupta period, it evolved in India, and it is very distinctive from the Dravidian style of southern India. What are the features? Nagar style में you have elevated platforms. नगर स्टाइल में टेम्पल जमीन पे नहीं होता है. पहले यू मेक अ प्लेटफॉर्म, उसके ऊपर टेम्पल बनाया जाता है. एंड प्लस नगर स्टाइल में यू हैव अ शिखर, लाइक अ स्लोपिंग शिखर. साउथ में you have a stepped शिखर, like a pyramid. These are the differences you need to remember. Nagar style में you have a platform, then temple. Dravidian style में directly you have a temple. There is no platform. Second difference, Nagar style में you have a sloped शिखर, और which is on the गर्भगृह. गर्भगृह आपको जैसे इसमें मैं पिक्चर दिखाता हूं, उससे समझ में आएगा. ये देखिए, जैसे ये है आपका नगर स्टाइल. तो इसमें what you have is you will have a kind of platform here on, you will have a kind of platform at the bottom. Platform के ऊपर the temple will be built. In that, this is your what you call shikhar, and this is the main part of the temple known as Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha में you have the deity. Ab there is a main deity in center, and there could be side deities also. बात समझ में आई? और यहाँ पे you have मंडप्स. There are lot of, आपने देखा conical structure होते हैं. So there is a lot of conical structure. ज्यादातर आप notice करें तो it is made like a T shape में होते हैं ज्यादा temples. Most of the temples in India are in a kind of T shape. T shape में यहाँ पे आपका main क्या हो गया? गर्भगृह, and above that you have the शिखर, and side में sloping करते हुए मंडप सेम आगे की तरफ होते हैं. जैसे यहाँ पे देखिए, यहाँ पे साइड भी होगा. इफ यू लुक एट द टॉप व्यू में एक तो आगे की तरफ होगा और इसके साइड में भी निकल रहे होंगे. दिस इज द पेक्यूलर फीचर ऑफ नगर स्टाइल, दैट दे हैव अ स्लोपिंग शिखर above the garbhagriha, and they have mandaps in front, number of, and it is more or less in the form of T shape. Clear? अब dividend में क्या क्या नहीं होता. Dividend में they do not have the platform first. Second, their shikhar is stepped like a pyramid. Pyramid की तरह होता है. Pyramid में steps होती हैं. The same way you have the stepped. And in their garbhagriha, there may not be any mandap in front. And गर्भगृह के बाहर में they often have gopurams or the guardians. जो गेट होता है मेन गेट, उसके पास में दो गार्डियंस होते हैं. And in the गर्भगृह they may have only one deity. जबकि नगर स्टाइल में the main deity is in between and the remaining deity are on the sides. Clear है? So these are very critical difference. Please remember them. जैसे डिवीजन में मैंने लिखी दिया. हाँ, और also the temple, the nagar temples are open temples. उनकी कोई बाउंड्री वॉल नहीं होती है. जैसे आपका टेंपल मान लेते हैं इस तरीके से बना हुआ है, तो इट विल बी ओपनली अवेलेबल. ऐसा नहीं है इट विल हैव अ बाउंड्री एनक्लोजिंग इट. ऐसे नहीं होता है. जबकि डिवीजन में क्या होता है, देयर इज अ कंपाउंड वॉल. क्लियर? फर्क समझ में आ रहा है? डिवीजन टेंपल्स में यू हैव अ कंपाउंड वॉल ऑल्सो. नगर टेंपल्स में ऑफन कंपाउंड वॉल्स आर नॉट अवेलेबल. हाँ, मॉडर्न टाइम्स में वी मे हैव फॉर सिक्योरिटी पर्पस वी मे क्रिएटेड वॉल, वो एक अलग बात है. बट द ओरिजिनल आर्किटेक्चर में नगर टेंपल में देयर इज नो कंपाउंड वॉल. तो कंफ्यूज मत होना अगर आप किसी टेंपल में जो नगर स्टाइल में बना कंपाउंड वॉल दिखे. वो हो सकता है मॉडर्न पर्पसेस के लिए बनाई गई है, सिक्योरिटी पर्पसेस के लिए, लेकिन नगर स्टाइल में कंपाउंड वॉल होती नहीं है. ठीक है? नेक्स्ट, ये मैंने आपको बता दिया. इन द फ्रंट वॉल द एंट्रेंस गेटवे इन द सेंटर. यहाँ पे सेंटर में एंट्रेंस गेटवे आपको मिलेगा. एंड यू विल हैव गोपुरम्स, काइंड ऑफ गार्डियंस और समथिंग देयर. ठीक है? एंड द मेन टेंपल टावर नोन एज शिखर इज लाइक अ स्टेप्ड पिरामिड. ठीक है? दिस इज अनदर डिफरेंस. नॉर्दर्न मैंने आपको बता दिया, इट हैज मल्टीपल शिखर. एक तो मेन शिखर है ऑन द गर्भगृह, उसके आगे भी छोटे छोटे बहुत से शिखर होते हैं, मंडप सी बोल सकते हैं उन्हें, और साइड में भी होते हैं. ऐसा डिवीजन में नहीं होता. डिवीजन में देयर इज ओनली वन शिखर, दैट इज ऑन द मेन टेंपल. द रिमेनिंग इज फ्लैट. ठीक है? नॉट पॉपुलर. नेक्स्ट, द डिवीजन टेंपल ऑफन हैव टेंपल टैंक्स एंड एज वेल एज ड्वेलिंग. जबकि नगर में ऐसा नहीं होता. नगर में dwellings are not attached to the temple itself. हो सकता है मॉडर्न टाइम्स में आप अटैच कर देते हो, बट प्रॉपर नगर स्टाइल में temples are separate. The living arrangement for the priest and everything is away from the temple. आसपास ही होगा लेकिन away from the temple. जबकि डिवीजन में they are within the temple itself. Clear? Please remember this. They have the temple tank, waterfall tank, and dwelling units for all grades of priesthood. Next, ये मैंने आपको बता दिया. डिवीजन स्टाइल में दे डू नॉट हैव एनी रेज्ड प्लेटफॉर्म. द टेंपल्स आर बिल्ट फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड इटसेल्फ. बाकी द्वारपाल होते हैं, दैट इज द डोरकीपर. लास्ट, वेसारा. अब वेसारा का ओरिजिनेट हुआ था. इट इज बिलीव टू बी ओरिजिनेट इन कर्नाटका. इट वाज स्टार्टेड बाय चालुक्य और बदामी further refined by Rashtrakutas in Ellora Janata caves जो है आपके पास है, and then Chalukya of Kalyani, and the final people who give the final touch to Vesara is Hoshiala. So it originates from Chalukya Badami and finally got the perfection during Hoshiala. And what is Vesara? It's a combination of both the Nagar and the Dravidian styles. So these are the three styles of temple architecture in India: the Nagar, the Dravidian, and Vesara. You need to know all the styles, what are their critical features, how they are different from each other. तो राम टेम्पल किस में बनाया गया है? नगर स्टाइल में. So it will have a raised platform. It will have multiple shikhar, small one, slowly increasing, leading to the main shikhar, and the main shikhar will be sloped. Okay, and side shikhar will also be present, and it will have more or less a T shape. Okay, clear? All people clear? ठीक है, well I will ask them. चलिए, with that note we shall end today's class. ठीक है, we will meet again. थोड़ी मेरी आज हालत भी खराब थी तो ज्यादा मजे से बात नहीं कर पाए हम. ठीक है, we will go in further detail जब आगे मिलेगा मौका. Bye bye then. समर्था, इतना एग्जैक्ट याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है. कितने डोर्स हैं, कितने पिलर्स हैं, कोई नहीं पूछने वाला. थोड़ा आर्किटेक्चरल फीचर्स याद रखिए बस. क्या हुआ? चलिए, bye bye then. We will meet again next Saturday. And I will ask about the PDF issue, Pawan. Don't worry. Bye bye, Ashneet. Bye bye, Samartha. Very welcome. Afifa, Ashneet.